Here's a great opportunity for Robinhood investors, a new electric vehicle which is coming soon. The stock is now publicly traded, and we're going to also take a look at the recent market drop of 6%. So stay tuned for more. If you think electric vehicles are the way of the future, you may want to get on the ground floor opportunity of this publicly traded company called Fisker. They provide a SUV electric vehicle that is coming soon. This company is called Fisker. Their stock became available. It's publicly traded as of October 30th, trading at $10.14. Here's some information from their press release. It says California-based Fisker Inc. is revolutionizing the automotive industry by developing the most emotionally desirable and eco-friendly electric vehicle on the earth. This press release goes on to say the Ocean will have a starting price of $37,499. They go on to say Fisker has received approximately 9,000 paid reservations as of October 29, 2020. The symbol on this is FSR. Let's jump over here to our markets here. We're looking at the S&P 500 on a daily chart. It's down about 6% over the last 5 trading days. As we talked about the last time we talked about stocks here, we said that if we break below, say, this 319 level, that would be bad news. Of course, no one likes it when it's going down anyway, but if we start breaking underneath that support area, that could lead to more selling. We're looking at the weekly chart here on the S&P 500. Again, it was down almost 6%. It looks like most of what's going on right now is probably a combination of some profit taking, some people taking money out of the market right now prior to the election. We'll get a better idea what's going to go on with the markets a few days after the election. I think right now nobody really knows what's going to happen. We're looking at the NASDAQ 100 trend indicator, and it's been moving back down just like the S&P 500, and we've got the trend indicator moving lower. If we look at the number of stocks above the 200-day moving average at a reading of 72%, which is still pretty positive. I don't consider it negative till we get under 60%. Also, the Dow Jones Industrials had a down week of about 6%. It's showing signs of wanting to move down further. If we look at the Dow Jones on a longer time period here, you'll see that this current high has not broken over the highs we had back in February of 2020. We're looking at the Dow Jones percentage of stocks above the 50-day moving average. And you can see we're down here about 5%, 5 or 6%. Typically when it gets that low, it's going to be time for a bounce. You can see in past months, we got down to around 30%. We got bounces. Here's a time back about a year ago, it got down around 10 to 15%. And we got a bounce, but we're down in these areas here. We're likely to see some type of a bounce in the Dow Jones Industrial. We're looking at Microsoft here. It's still holding above the main support area at 197. Now, Microsoft was down 6% this week also, but still holding a bullish pattern. Apple Computer down almost 6% this week also. Same pattern. It's holding above 107. A break below, say, 105 is going to be bad news for Apple and continued bad news for the NASDAQ 100 stocks. We're looking at the SMH Semiconductor Index here again. It's coming down just like everything else, but you can see it's still holding above the main support areas here. Gold still moving down. This is the Gold Miners Index, and it's holding its lower support areas also. We're looking at the gold continuous contract. The actual price of gold here is hovering around $18.79. It seems to be some accumulation down in this area. Now, some experts I listen to think it could dip down to 1800, and that could, if it does get down there, that's going to be an excellent buying opportunity. Looking at the big picture, the S&P 500, we're still holding above the 250-day moving average. Above that, I'm calling bullish. Below that, I would call bearish. So we're going to have lots of news in the markets coming up next week. I don't think anybody knows exactly what's going to happen, so we're just going to have to hang on and try to watch it as close as possible. What do you all think is going to happen? coming up here next week with the market. Are we going to move higher or are we going to move lower from where we're at now? Okay, stay tuned for updates. Thanks for watching.